Okay, Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome back to another episode. So inshallah today we are going to
address the concerns of a concerned parent here who's not sure at which age to start teaching her child how to read.
He is a believer of not introducing the child reading and writing before the age of 7.
A few things.
So I'm curious. Okay.
I have certain views about how or what age to start teaching kids how to read lah. I personally believe that 3 years old, 4 years old, even 5 years old is a bit too young.
Too young.
Yeah, you should start only 6 or after 6.
But if you start after 6, wouldn't it be too late? And macam the child will be too far behind to catch up.
Okay, so this is what we're trying to get at today lah. We're trying to find out why do I have certain beliefs and what do people believe in general, what are people doing, what are schools doing, what is happening in preschools, and ultimately when do we start teaching kids how to read, basically. Okay, so first of all, I think we need to start by questioning our assumptions. Okay, so I always start like this. So whenever you want to make a decision, you have to ask, what do I think or what do people think is best and why?
What do people think is best?
So in general, people, right? I think in general when you go to a kindergarten, K1, K2, I think they already start teaching how to read.
Yeah.
Right? I think your friends...
No, even like when we enroll Akil to the childcare, right?
Yes, correct.
They're already teaching them how to...
Yeah, we saw that they were teaching the kids how to read.
And he's just like 18 months.
So I was thinking that I mean, this is quite some time back lah, when the eldest was still a kid. So I was thinking that I think the general assumption that people have is that if you teach earlier, it is better for the child. So there's this equating of earlier with better. When I don't think that it's a valid assumption to make, because
why?
Okay, because first of all, earlier is earlier. The opposite of earlier is later. It's not earlier means better and then later means worse.
Okay, but why do you think that earlier is not later?
Okay, also because I'm also a firm believer in teaching people when it is age appropriate.
Okay. How do you how to say?
Okay, I'll give you an example.
No, wait. How do you macam get the conclusion that
what age is appropriate?
What age is appropriate?
Okay. Before that, let me just highlight a few things. Before we say what age is appropriate, and what we should do at the various ages, like what I would recommend. I need to give you an analogy. You know, in secondary school, right? When I was in secondary school, they actually banned lower sec kids from going to the gym. Okay.
When you were secondary school?
Yeah, I think they still do now. They still ban.
They ban primary school kids?
No, lower sec 1, sec 2.
Lower secondary.
You're not allowed to go to the gym.
Why?
Okay, so this is the reason. Because you see, at that age, your body is still in the stage of puberty.
Developing.
Yeah, there's still that kind of development specific for their needs. So if you start lifting weights, of course, a sec 2 boy can quite easily lift some weights. But if you keep on doing that, then there is a chance that it will stunt your development. It will stunt your growth.
It's not age appropriate.
Yeah, it's not age appropriate, especially if you start doing things like, lifting weights and
to make you short, right?
I mean, yeah lah. I suppose so. I mean, we've not seen the research on this, but I think, I mean, I've not read up the research on this lah. But we can see lah that there's a reason why we will not be asking kids, sec 1, sec 2, just before puberty, to start lifting weights. Even sec 3, sec 4 also, we will not. There are things that you should not be able to do, right? Like even in football, even if a footballer is 16 years old, even if he's super good, right? The game time will be managed because there are certain things that you should, even though you can do, it's best that you don't do first.
Okay.
And I think the same would apply to reading.
Yeah, but how do you know that 7 years old or 6 years old, is it? 6 years old is the age appropriate time.
So we need to see what researchers have said about this. We need to see what's out there and so on, and what has worked for other people. So what I'm saying is that it cannot be such a simple thing of everybody's doing it this way, so the correct way is to do it this way. And I think this is a very common mistake that people make.
Yeah,
just because everyone's doing it makes it the right thing to do. Cannot be lah. This is not the correct way to think.
No, but I think some parents have shared their concerns before with me that like if you like they cannot imagine, because everybody is starting earlier, right? So they cannot imagine delaying their child's learning at 6 years old, because like there's a lot to catch up. That's number one. Number two, when everybody knows how to read and write, and you are the only one in the class who cannot read and write, that will drop the child's confidence.
Yeah, it can be quite damaging for the confidence.
and like the child will be put to like some extra class, right? In MOE.
Depends on how.
Yeah, so macam that itself will drop the punya confidence, and that's like when the child gets to primary one, that's like dia punya first experience in school. So you don't want to make it macam embarrassing.
Yeah, so these are the sort of things that would come about as well, and these are the things that would need addressing. So it depends on which age lah. Like for example, if a child enters primary one without knowing how to read, the primary one teachers are actually trained to teach them. Of course, they might be not the same as everybody else, and that can have an impact on their confidence if not managed properly. So that one we will have to separately address that lah. But as to objectively, right, which works better in a sense? First of all, we question our assumptions, right? We ask, what are people doing? And people seem to think that earlier is better. There are even courses, preparation courses. There's like tuition before primary one, you know, for kids to get up to speed. They call it the demands of primary one. When I'm not sure what that would be lah, because if you think about it, the Ministry of Education has already removed examinations for primary one. Right? There are no, in fact primary two also, no more exams in primary one, primary two, no more mid-year exams, final exams. The very first actual exam they will take in primary school is at the end of primary three, so they're almost halfway through. Okay, so the idea is that we want to get kids to love and to enjoy learning. Right, we don't want to stress them with the burden of examination. Of course, there's like learning review and a teacher's observation and all that.
So you are saying MOE is also in line with what you are saying?
No, I think MOE is very accommodating to different parents' views on things. Right, MOE doesn't force you to make sure your child knows how to read before primary one. No, they never say that. They never said that. It's just parents' assumptions that a child must know how to read before primary one.
But even when MOE removed the examinations, right? Like parents are still very careful about it. Like
I mean, that one is undeniably one of the things in Singapore lah. It's a cultural thing lah. Parents are very enthusiastic, let's say, about education and so on. Maybe even more so than other countries. We don't know. But rightly or wrongly, this is the culture that we find ourselves in. Okay, and our advice is about how to navigate this culture. What does the research say about reading? Okay, so I think a few things that we can all agree on one thing, which is development has to be age appropriate.
Okay.
Teaching and learning has to be age appropriate, right? You have to the child has to be ready to be able to learn that particular skill.
Okay,
as the saying goes.
You've not answered my question.
Okay, as the saying goes, you cannot run before you learn how to walk.
Yeah,
right? So it's like that. It happens in stages.
Okay.
Okay. So it is not a question of we learn to read at 4 years old and then learn how to decode all these texts, but our command of the language is not so strong yet. Should it be better to have a strong command of the language developed through other ways and then learn how to read, or the other way around? Okay. So this is what has been shown widely to work. What is really very important? What is one of the what I've read the major predictors of success, academic success and development of intelligence, is to read to the child. Okay, so this is what I think every parent should do.
Oh, you read to the child.
You read to the child. You
from
open a
young
book.
Age.
You read. Not asking the child to read. No, you read. Right. You tell the child what the story is about. Because by doing that, you are exposing the child to a large range of vocabulary, to the way language is being used. You have a lot of communication with the child. So instead of our engagement with language in the form of text, the child's engagement with language, instead of that in the form of text, we have it in the form of conversation. We have it in the form of storytelling. So they develop a richer appreciation of the language. And then later on, once they start actually learning to read text, it becomes very fast.
I see.
Yeah, and I've seen this happen with my kids also, with the elder ones, right? I think you've seen that. You know, primary one, he didn't know how to read. We won't say which one now, but he didn't know how to read in primary one. Okay, and then of course the spelling test will get like 1 upon 10, 2 upon 10. Yeah, and it could have been
demoralizing. Say
could have been demoralizing, but address it properly. right? And then we realize that they actually start learning to read very fast.
Yeah, very fast actually.
Yeah, and then now alhamdulillah doing well lah in school, right? So yeah.
So you've not answered my question. Like, what is the what is the drawback or like the cons of teaching the child how to read and write before the age of 7?
Oh, okay. What are the cons? Okay, first of all, opportunity cost, which is about if they don't learn, if the time that they spend trying to get the child to read, they can spend that time outdoors. They can spend that time playing, right?
And playing is more important.
And playing is more important for sure at this age, right? At the age.
Sayyidina Ali also mentioned this in prophetic parenting. Before the age of 7, play with them.
Yeah.
After the age of 7, and then that's when the discipline comes. And the so macam like people in the past can, or even the awliya, before the age of 7, they would focus on memorizing the Quran, not reading and memorizing tau, like memorizing like talqin, yang macam like you recite and then after that
you
he
read
will follow.
and they will follow after you. Yeah.
So like that kira they focus on memorization, and before the age of 7, usually most of them have already memorized the whole Quran already. Yeah, so macam these are the education lah, the education system. And I think in some countries they are still doing this. Like macam in Egypt, right? You won't find anyone. I mean, most of them, even like people in the street, would hafal the whole Quran. So if you don't hafal the whole Quran, you don't memorize the whole Quran, right? It's like an aib.
Okay.
So that's like the education system there. So like after, I think after 7 baru dia start learning like the akidah or like
I see. Yeah, so I think this is the engagement with language is important. Memorization as well, as you said, this memorizing of the Quran. Okay, later I'll talk about memorization, but to go back to the point about playing with children. So 0 to 7 is the age where playing takes priority. To me, playing really takes priority. Whether it's learning how to ride a bicycle, playing football, throwing and catching, you know, even playing games at home, card games and so on. There has to be an enjoyment there, to me. Okay, there has to be a level of development through play, in the sense that they need to enjoy what they're doing. Because 0 to 7, this is where they've just been born. They're slowly coming into their bodies. Every experience is sensory, right? They get to feel for the first time what's cold, what's hot, what it's like to fall down from a bicycle, right? So these are all new experiences.
Are we gonna force to read?
It's a, and no, it's not about being forced to read. It's about, if that is such a stressful thing to do. I mean, some kids pick it up very fast, whereas some kids, you know, you can see them struggle, and then some parents would scold and all that, and at that age, when it's not really fair to the kid, because they're not meant to be reading at 5 years old. Honestly, they're not meant to be reading at that age. Okay, wait. But I think I need to talk about some of the research that has been done also.
Yes.
On this. Okay, so there are a few studies. Just bear in mind that it's not easy to conduct a completely fair study on this, right? Because of the limitations, because it has to be a longitudinal study spanning like 6-7 years. You got to follow them through, right?
And it has to be like the same environment, the same
socio-economic status, same family background. Yeah. So it's not so easy. But people have attempted studies just to get a glimpse of what has gone on. So there was this study in 2013 done by Saget. Yeah, I think we'll put the link in the description. So this study, I thought it was quite interesting because it's one of the few that compared a large group of students at 60 months old who started reading.
60 months?
60 months is 5 years.
How old is that? Okay.
It's 5 years. Okay. And then another group where the average age was 79 months, which is about slightly more than 6.5 years. Okay, 6.5 to 7 years about there. Yeah, so these two groups of students. So the first group of students, they went to state schools where by default you are taught how to read at the age. Okay, and then this other group, they delayed reading. They were from another school, so they delayed reading, and even at 6.5, they couldn't recognize the words. Okay. These kids couldn't at 6.5. They couldn't recognize words. Okay. They could recognize what is A, what is B, and so on. They could recognize the characters of the alphabet, but not read whole words. Okay, so they started this test, and they went through the curriculum, and then they looked at the kids 6 years later. Okay, when they were about 10.5 years old.
Okay.
Okay, so what they observed was so we call them the early group and the late group lah. So the early reading group, the group that learn to read at 5 years old, they had an advantage when they entered primary one. When it was not primary one, when they entered elementary school, they call it, which is about 6 years old. They had an advantage over the other group lah. Of course lah, because you know how to read, right? So obviously you can spell, obviously you can understand sentences and all that, whereas the other group couldn't. But what these researchers noticed is that by the time they were 10, any early advantage this group had already disappeared. Yeah, there was no more advantage at that point in time.
Meaning?
That means, yeah, you start earlier, which means that you can read at an earlier age, which means that at 6 years old you can read very fluently. Other people cannot read yet, but they're gonna catch up.
No, as in like when you say no advantage, like the advantage is no longer there. What do you mean by that? Like,
okay, that means when they tested the kids at this age, at about 10 and a half years, they saw that
tested in what? IQ?
Reading, tested in reading, comprehension and
comprehension,
so on.
okay.
Yeah, it seems that any early advantage they had in fluency of reading, in comprehension, that had already vanished by that age of 10 and a half. So they might have had a head start because you made them have the head start.
Yeah, okay.
But by a certain age, it's gone. Yeah, there's no more.
But there's no cons, right?
Oh, wait. Hang on. So that's one part of it. So in other words, that already tells us that starting earlier doesn't have any advantage. You could have used that earlier time for other things, right?
Okay.
You could have used that other time to teach more important things like memorization of Quran, for example.
What does the study say about like the later group? What does the study say about the later group?
What is it?
Like, what does the study say about the later group? The later group tu ada advantage? Ada any?
Okay, so hang on. So what they also found. So there was a parallel study. Okay, same group of people, these same researchers, but they also did a parallel study. They found that reading fluency for the two groups at 10 years old was the same, but the second group showed better reading comprehension. Yeah, so they were slow readers at the start.
But they understand things better.
But by the time they were 10 years old, they could comprehend better.
They understand things better.
So this is what they found in the study.
Yeah. Actually, I think...
And they tried to speculate certain reasons for this.
Okay, you have 3 elder children, right?
Yeah.
Who are like almost there, like 10 years old, 9, 10, 12. So, do you notice any difference between them? Firstly, do all of them start earlier or later?
No. Some started earlier, some started later.
Okay, so do you find any difference?
So I cannot say lah.
Cannot say. Yeah. Cannot say generally.
No lah. I mean, people know my children, so better not say lah.
Okay.
No. So anyway, but I can see that for among those kids, those who started learning once they entered primary one or just close to primary one, they are doing decently well in school. I think they're doing quite well. I think the eldest is going to take his PSLE soon, inshallah. So seem to be okay.
I think to me, macam I feel like macam.
No, but that's of course a one-off thing lah. It's not representative of everyone lah, right?
Yeah lah, I know. It is a one-off thing. Cuma macam because you really believe in this, kan? So I wonder if you also see difference in your own like 3 children.
Yeah, whether I see difference or not, it should not be something to look at. It's just one data point.
Okay.
You know, it's not what this research study would have found with hundreds of students. You see. Yeah. So I wouldn't want to give an anecdotal kind of experience thing. So.
Okay. Yeah. So like previously you were saying that like before the age of 7, if you learn how to read and write, like you could use that time to play.
Yeah, to
right?
do other things.
So like when the child plays the whole day, right?
Okay.
I feel like would you say that
wasting
there's
their time.
No. Okay, I sometimes I feel that way too. Macam oh my god, like you know macam so many other children like know so many things and like my child macam because my child is homeschooled, we don't put him in kindergarten because we don't kindergarten.
That's not the meaning of homeschool lah.
Childcare. No, we don't put him in childcare,
okay.
And we don't teach him like how the preschool teach the children. Yeah, because like when I go to playground, when I compare him with like other children, like they know a lot of things, but like my child doesn't.
Yeah.
So
but why?
Why? What do you mean?
Like what are some of the things that other kids know that our child does not?
Like okay lah, ABC. And then
Reading
like,
lah.
reading, and then after that,
But conversation? Because at the age, I mean, he's only 2 years old.
conversation is very good lah.
Yeah, exactly. So what is more important at this age is to be able to use language in conversation.
Okay.
Is to use descriptive language. Is to build up vocabulary over time. Not really the text. Not really being able to spell. You see, that will come later.
Yeah.
Right. So if you richly develop a child's vocabulary, a child's conversational skills, a child's oracy. Like for example, he's able to communicate with you. He's able to understand your ideas. He's able to comprehend what you're trying to say and try to form a rebuttal or to say whether he agrees or not. That is more important because that is language acquisition. And why I brought up about people throughout history is some of the brightest minds in the world never knew how to read
in the past.
Yeah, Rasulullah himself was illiterate throughout his
But
life.
Rasulullah is different because Rasulullah is like a mu'jizat from, as in there's a reason, because like they don't want people to accuse Rasulullah for writing the Quran.
No, I understand.
So there's a different hikmah behind it.
I understand. What I'm saying is that it is possible for there to be intelligence developed without being literate. But of course, in society today, we need to know how to read. Of course.
But we are the ummah of Iqra. What? We are the ummah of reading. The first verse that is sent to Rasulullah was read.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's, yeah, correct. Which is read and write, right? The Iqra and then there's Nun wal qalami wa ma yasturun. So it's read and write.
Yeah, read and write.
Which is telling us that this is language. I mean, what I get from there is that language is important, the knowledge is important, the ability to read and write is important, correct?
Yeah.
Dissemination of knowledge is important, but does that mean that a child at 6 years old or 5 years old should be made to read? So that's a different thing. So saying knowledge and dissemination of knowledge, spreading of knowledge is important. That's one thing, but what do we do to a child, or how do we impart knowledge to a child is another thing. Right? So do we impart knowledge by making them read and write? Or do we impart knowledge by getting them to memorize Quran? Because I think a lot can be said about memorization of Quran.
What can be said?
A lot can be said because at this age, children are very good in memorization. So we can stretch their intellect, their ability to develop their brains by teaching memorization of Quran. And I would strongly encourage any parent, if you don't know what to do with your child, teach them how to.
You don't know what to do with your child at home.
Teach them how to memorize the Quran. Juzama, Al-Baqarah, Surah Yasin, some of the other Surah Al-Mulk. So memorize this with them. Get them to you recite it. Get them to recite after you. You recite it. Get them to recite after you.
Yeah.
Or if you cannot recite, then you play from the
How does
computer.
memorization of Quran increases your intellect?
How does it work?
How does
we don't know.
Oh,
But we know it works. I mean, we don't know exactly how.
No, because I heard that like if you memorize the Quran, it increases your intellect. I heard.
I think it's general memorization. General exposure to things, storing it there, recalling it. I think that further enhances the intellect.
Making your mind sharp.
Yeah, correct. So it makes your mind sharp. Like what we see now. Like we see like Akil. Right?
He's very fast.
He's very fast because we go through that process. We go through the process of getting him to memorize, and then suddenly he has all this new vocabulary. We don't know where this is from.
We don't know where is it from, and his English is very good.
Which is decent.
Yeah, I think better than mine.
Yeah. So the thing is that what I hope we do for Akil is that we don't teach him how to read until he's 6 and a half. I mean, he might see all this peers and all that, but
but I think okay, to me, right, when I see him, right, when we don't introduce reading and writing before the age of 7 and we just let him be bored, I think there's something to be said about him being bored, and because there's zero screen time, almost zero screen time, so he would be curious about things, and I think that's also one benefit lah. Macam if you don't stuff the child with like studying and you know macam forcing them how to read and write at a certain age, at 2 or 3 years old, they would be left bored and thinking about things, and we want to develop thinkers. Right, not just like people who just follow blindly, right? Macam I find that he is okay, firstly I think because there's no screen time, hardly any screen time, and also there's no studying involved, so he can do whatever he wants. So macam he can be left like the whole day. Macam yesterday, the whole day I was doing my work, I was cooking apa semua. He was on his own. He was like playing on his own, and he was like wondering about things, and like sometimes he will go to me and then like asking me about things, which I find, and then he will converse with me. So I find that macam actually he's good lah. Like macam he's good in observing things. And macam when because I drove with him, right? Sometimes I drove with him only. Then sometimes he would recognize the places, and at 2 years old, I think macam it's good lah when you can recognize the places. And sometimes I also cannot remember like where I park my car and all that. And he was the one who told me macam, Umi, level 2 lah. You know, macam masya-Allah. So I think I mean I hope we, because I'm also not sure like before the age of 7 is it okay to not introduce
the important
reading
thing
and writing.
The important thing is developmentally appropriate age. Like what age is appropriate for this development? And
because it's a lie to say that I'm not affected by this. Macam because when I see like wow, like you know some other children can they can. I mean in terms of speaking, I think it's the same lah, because I always read to Akil and I always tell prophetic stories to him. But macam I think he like the fact that he cannot read. And he cannot.
He doesn't recognize letters lah.
He doesn't recognize ABC. He doesn't even know colours.
Nah, he's only 2 years old. Cannot lah.
He doesn't even know colours. So macam okay lah. I should always like remind myself, okay, take it easy. 4 more years. 4 more years until he can read and write.
Yeah.
Okay, another thing that I want to ask you is, what if the child is capable? Like macam because you were saying just now that sometimes some children can pick up very fast. Some children they are struggling, so like don't have to force them. But what if the child is capable and the child wants to learn how to read and write because dia macam FOMO. Like FOMO means like fear of missing out. Like when he sees his peers or like his circle of friends kan knowing how to read and write. So he's like, Dad, I want to learn how to read and write. I want to be terror, you know. But like you are stopping, would you say that you are stopping him from learning?
No, wait, hang on. So you say, what if a child is capable enough?
Yeah. So he can be curious, he can
it's
converse
different.
well.
It's different. Capable enough or wants to learn? It's
Both
different.
lah.
No, because some people are capable but they don't want to learn. Some people they want to learn but they're not capable.
Both. So he is capable.
Okay.
We can see that he's smart. And he is also feeling macam FOMO, like fear of missing out.
Okay. So both. So this person is capable and he has a desire to learn.
So at like macam 5 years old, he's asking you why I cannot read and write. Like why can't you teach me?
If the child wants it, then don't prevent it lah.
Oh, don't prevent it.
Don't prevent it lah. Yeah. I mean, why would you prevent it? I mean, you can just say that. They just teach you learn a little bit. Although I think that's quite a rare thing. It's quite rare that a child at 5 years old, you know, wants to abandon his playtime and focus on learning how to read. Really?
Yeah. You don't remember?
No.
Okay.
5 years old. Oh, okay. No, but that's because that's not because the child is capable. That's because the child sees other people doing it.
Yalah.
That's why I ask you, is it because it's capable or is it because they see other people and they want to be like that? Because if they see other people and they want to be like that, but they're not like super bright or intellectually superior to everybody else, that we don't see any special thing about the child, right? Then I don't think it's a wise idea. Like, even if he wants it, but it's not good for him at this age, then don't give it to him.
But how do you measure? How do you conclude that it's not good for him?
No, it depends. Sometimes you can tell. You can tell when a child is exceptionally bright. You know, even at 1 year old or 2 year old.
Is it?
Yeah, 2 years old. You can tell when a child has a. One of the early detections of intelligence is a sense of humor. If at 1 year old, 2 year old, they do something and they have the idea it's funny. So humor is an indication that the child has some level of intellect there. Yeah, so
this one based on you or based on research?
No. There's I mean, I read about these things now.
Okay.
Humor is more the indication because it takes a few levels to get to a level where you can be funny in in a good way lah, not in a right. Like you understand this concept of this thing is funny. Okay, so it's especially humor with words and all that. They understand, you know, nuances and all these things, puns and all that. Yeah, so that is an indication. So I think if you can tell that this person is really quite a smart child lah, quite an intelligent child, and there is a desire to read and so on, then okay lah. I mean, there's not, just don't overdo it lah, right? And don't compromise the playtime, because I feel like playtime is very important.
Correct.
Like things like learning how to ride a bicycle, learning to climb.
Learning to climb, yeah. Correct.
Learning hand-eye coordination. These are all very important things that that children need to learn when they're young. Outdoor play, right? Playing in the sand and playing at the beach and all that.
It's very interesting because like the pro-natural gurus also mention about how like the nature, right, has its healing properties. You ever heard of grounding time?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah,
I've never
so
really read up about it.
Okay, I've never really read out about it, but like they are very strong. They have a very strong opinion on like children have to go outdoors and like do grounding time.
Yeah, I would think that's more important than learning how to
macam
read.
to balances the apa inside lah, something like that lah.
I mean, no. What I say is that I think generally, outdoor play and frequent communication, storytelling, and all that. These are all more important at the age of 3, 4, 5, 6. These are all more important than sitting down and forcing them to decode text at the age 3, 4, 5 lah. Maybe by 6 it should be okay already. Yeah, and so I think don't worry. 6 years old, 6.5 years old, you can start reading, and then they would pick up very fast if they already have the sound acquisition of the knowledge.
Okay, wait. Another thing that I want to ask. So let's say they have like some parents, right? They have already introduced reading and writing at the age of 3, 4, 5, and the child is already 10 years old now. Okay, so like how do you advise the parent macam to stretch the child's intellect at that age?
That's another topic lah. That's 10 years already. Another thing.
I mean, macam how to undo.
No, there's nothing to undo.
Nothing to undo.
Yeah, there's nothing to undo. It's just that.
I mean, there's no macam
it's just a question of how
great cons like great disadvantage.
The main disadvantage, like I said, is the opportunity cost. The time that you spend when you are 5 years old, like sitting down trying to read at that age, that time could have been spent elsewhere, right? That time could have been spent outdoors.
Memorizing the Quran.
Could have been spent memorizing the Quran. Could have been spent learning how to ride a bicycle. Could have been spent, you know, playing football or climbing or something, or just storytelling. You know, with conversing with parents and all that. Yeah. So it's not about there are bad things will happen to you if you teach your child to read at 5 years old. No, it's not like that. It's just that what else could have been? How could the time have been spent better?
I see.
So instead of that lah. But of course, by all means, if you wanna.
No, but you said just now ada study done, right?
Yeah. So the study was, I mean, the drawback.
Lack of
the early reading group. They had similar reading fluency, but the late reading group had better comprehension. Yeah. So, but that one they did some. They tried to explain lah why they found this thing and so on. So I would encourage you to read up on that study. Of course, like every study, there are limitations to the study, but this is what they found. Okay, and I think it is consistent with the idea that the trajectory for development will be different for different people. So it can be very slow first, and then suddenly it's very fast, or very fast first, and then they can do everything by primary 1, and then later on it could be boredom or whatever, and then it goes downhill from there. So yeah, developmental trajectory, and I think this is where I need to credit the MOE. So I think they are.
My husband here is a fan of MOE system, education system in Singapore. He's a fan.
No, I wouldn't say that I'm a fan of it, but I think that they get many things right. I think they also get many things wrong. Also, a few things that they shouldn't have done, I feel but they did. But I think by and large they look at kids in general, and they make changes as necessary. One big move is to remove the exams for primary 1 and primary 2. I think that was really a good move. That was really a good move because you remove the stress of the exam at that age. Okay, but you cannot remove exams totally. And for the people who say remove PSLE, I think this is impossible. I think that there's no way the system can work. I don't know. I've looked at the suggestions and I think that this really cannot work. Okay, I don't think there's any strong case to be made for removing the PSLE. But remove exams at primary 1, primary 2, this is a good move. Removing mid-year exams, also a good move. So we cannot see the exams as a bad thing, but rather how do we view the exams, right? Do we view it as something that is stressful? Do we view it as something that just a checkpoint in learning so that we can learn from there and then take it as feedback to develop more? So it's about how you view the exam, not the exam per se lah. Yeah. So I think the MOE gives a lot of leeway. Right? They don't enforce that you go to kindergarten. They don't enforce that you know how to read before primary 1. In fact, they don't even enforce that you go to primary school. Right? MOE understands that some parents want to homeschool. Right? Even in primary 1, primary 2, primary 3. So they do understand and they do actually have their own support for such things. Yeah, that's why I say it's not. Of course, there are a few things they get wrong lah, but you cannot expect perfection.
Yeah.
Right? You can expect that by and large, it has been okay, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's all. Just to summarize.
It's a good discussion today.
Just to summarize, I think regardless of the kind of development, it has to be age appropriate.
Yes.
We have to look at, when we want to make decisions as to how to develop our children, we have to look at what people have been doing, what are the assumptions? Because what has been normal might not be correct. Okay, of course, we also read up, look at what researchers have said about such things, and also the experiences of your own observations, of your friends and so on, and what has worked for them. Yeah, so inshallah we will discuss more topics like this about parenting, about education, about religion and so on in our subsequent episodes.
We'll see you in another episode, inshallah.
Yeah,
Assalamualaikum.